Hey folks, Gremlin here with the Gremlin Gamer. So I just had a short little Destiny video I wanted to do for today. I'm still working on some stuff for the next video for Dragon's Crown Pro. But mostly in this video was wanting to basically let you guys know about a weapon I think is being slept on with the current meta. And that weapon in particular, whoops, wrong menu. Is going to be this right here, the Positive Outlook auto rifle. It's a precision frame Omelon, and this is actually I guess it's a Nightfall weapon from an older one, but you can get it focused by Zavala in the tower for 3 engrams, and basically the role that you really want, especially for PvE, at least I'm still trying to get one myself, is destabilizing rounds with preferably repulsor brace. And basically those two synergize really well for those who know. Basically you get destabilizing rounds, causes enemies to go volatile, you kill volatile enemies. Basically killing weakened enemies gives you an overshield, so it just snowballs to where you're getting nice crowd kill, ad clearing power, and getting a boost to your defense in the process. And then if you're playing I'm using this on as a void hunter, then you're getting almost constant invisibility as well. But because of the massive buff void rounds got, or destabilizing rounds, sorry, and the perks that have been added to the new seasonal artifact, even if you're playing any other class for that matter, whether it be a warlock or a titan or a hunter, but even another subclass, then you're going to benefit from one particular thing here. Let's see which one it is. Actually, there's two here, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Here we go. So, now you have to have obviously a ceremony or whatever the heck it's called going on to have this active to get the bonus, but the boost is what especially makes this work great. So rapid void weapon precision hits and rapid void weapon final blows grant volatile rounds. So if you got a void weapon that doesn't necessarily have volatile rounds, when this gets procced, they will basically have volatile rounds. But when you have the boost, volatile detonations grant class ability energy, and it grants quite a bit. And so it really doesn't matter if you're playing Hunter right now, Titans especially, being able to get your barricades out as often as possible plays into this. Obviously, Warlocks are constantly dropping down wow, I can't even think of what it's called, but basically they're heavily relying on getting extra effects from their class ability. Same thing with hunters, being able to dodge, get your melee back, reload a weapon, whatever is your thing. Plays really well into that loop as far as this goes. And what was the other one? Yeah, defeating weakened targets with a void weapon applies volatile to nearby targets. Powerful targets increase the radius of the explosions. So this is basically just more free volatile, basically just guaranteeing more enemies are going to be weakened, getting kills and going invisible, or once again triggering this. It's going to be just amping that up as well. So the choice also being for this is that I actually have been sleeping on this thing myself. I had several that I just stashed in my vault out of curiosity, and never really used them until I started realizing how nice destabilizing rounds were. So I started scurrying around looking for different weapons I have with those, and realized this one could come with that. Um, this is a very solid weapon. It's very well rounded. As you can see, really good range, decent impact, great stability, handling, reload. Despite having a reasonably decent deep magazine size, 450 round, so it's not slow. Um, this thing can roll with a lot of other good stuff besides these things, but typically the main thing you really want is the destabilizing rounds, unless you're playing possibly a PvP role. I'm actually still trying to figure out a good PvP role for this. But I actually took this one into Iron Banner recently and was actually surprised how well it functioned in there. Mostly probably from the steady hands perk, but let's see. Well, no, not to say I wasn't getting kills, but basically there's different perks that work better for PvP play versus PvE. But basically, the stabilizing rounds is going to be something you absolutely want on PvE weapon here. Um, and overall, this is just a good auto rifle. I personally like the way they look. I've always been a fan of the way the Omalon weapons look. Uh, and of course, you can basically get this by just doing what is it here? I hate when I go brain dead about the names of all this stuff. Your Vanguard. So doing your Nightfall missions, basically getting Ingrams is the key thing. So then you can go to Zavala and try your luck to hopefully get that God roll, that perfect roll. And yeah, I was actually going to mention too, just even comparing, I was also farming up some of the. Where do I still have one on hand? Oh no, yeah, here we are. The Joxer's Longsword, because it as well can roll with these stabilizing rounds. This, I figured, since it's got slightly better range and impact, that it would be a bit more powerful or nasty compared to this. I mean, you compare them stat-wise, it's like, yeah, it's got better impact, but it is a little bit slower fire rate. And that actually is where it goes sideways. It really doesn't keep up with the positive outlook just because of the slow fire rate. I think it's like a 2 fire burst, and there's a pretty good pause between each fire. You know, that said, you do have the added range, you do have the added impact, but it's not going to be dropping bullets out as fast. And that's why actually this outperformed both to me, both in PvE and PvP. Like I said, this actually, I already knew it was doing well in PvE. I had actually found out just kind of an accident, but I just recently took into PvP, and this thing holds its own there as well. Obviously, there's some things they're going to have an advantage over you, but for the most part, especially if you're nailing your crits, and like I said, I'm still learning the best PvP roles, but basically anything that improves your handling, your range, typically stuff that's probably going to be proc from getting a kill. There are a few passive ones you can get, but other ones are just more geared towards PvE play stuff where you're getting easy kills. But basically anything that's going to help with your handling, your speed, your reload, things like that. More practical things which you want when you're going into a weapon for PvP. So that said, there are other ones you can look at too as well. This is another one that I was actually sitting on, and it's bows are just still in a really weird place right now. But this one actually felt pretty damn nice. Reasonably fast fire rate, good hit. It's just in that weird spot between hitting a little bit harder than a high-impact scout rifle, but being still a little bit slower, but then still not quite as... You're not getting those one hits like you do with even like a rapid-fire sniper. It's just... It's not there. But with the stabilizing rounds, repulsor brace, you can definitely have some fun with this, especially if you're playing with a stealth invisible hunter. This especially comes in handy because going invisible, you don't feel the rush. You can kind of take your time picking off enemies. So that was an interesting, fun way of playing. And the other one, I may have actually stashed already. Yeah, that was the, I think it's the Fall of the Wolf. It's a rapid fire or light frame void pulse rifle from Iron Banner. And that thing can also roll with destabilizing rounds and repulsor brace. And I had played with other versions of it before. I didn't really find it all that impressive. And of course, before they buffed volatile rounds, I wasn't all impressed with them either. So it's just like this thing just feels like a kind of almost like a submachine gun that does uh, burst fire, because it just had such sporadic. It doesn't have the best range. It's just kind of a strange little gun. But if you can get it with volatile rounds and repulsor brace, it's actually worth it. It's actually really starts to tear the enemies up. Nothing high level, but like if you're playing through say onslaught or something, you can have a lot of fun with it. But other than that, that's kind of the key thing is just not to sleep on weapons with volatile rounds. It really doesn't matter what class you're playing, what subclass you're playing. Even if, with Arc Bolt being the big thing right now, you can still basically just getting damage, especially if you're playing with somebody that's using a Titan. You're going to build up that arc charge no matter what type. You don't necessarily have to be using a lightning electric weapon from what I understand. It's just damage ticks. Some of y'all might be aware of the other, that's more of a Titan thing, but basically there's some glitches going right now where certain exotic primaries, basically unlimited ammo, that do poison type damage are basically overloading the bolt charge so that it's just constantly getting procced from every little point of poison damage that it's doing over time. So these weapons, if you got a barricade, throw up a barricade, use one of those guns, you're going to be just raining lightning on everything nonstop. So anyways, yeah, it's just being aware of the various things that can work together that you might not be thinking of. Because, you're thinking, hey, bolt charge, electric, arc, why would I use a void gun? Well, here's why. Because with every class, being able to get your class ability back up quick is vital. And right now, with the current meta on Titans, anything that you can do to get your barrier up quick is going to be massively advantageous. It just means you're going to be dropping damage like good old Zeus himself dropping lightning on the field. That said, once again, we all know how often Warlocks need to use their class ability, Hunters like to use their class abilities, so there's really nothing to lose by that. And once again, the way destabilizing rounds are working now, they're easily on par with stuff like jolting feedback, incandescent, volt shot. It's just, yeah, the ad clear, weakening enemies, even against bosses and such, it's nice to have. So that's it for this video. That's all I really wanted to point out was just be on the lookout for good void weapons, especially if they have destabilizing rounds. And if you're wondering what good ones to get, I can highly recommend the Positive Outlook. If you like bows, Fortunate Stars, another good one. I kind of forgot where that one comes from, to be honest. If you like the heavy burst pulse rifles, the Joxer Longsword also can come with destabilizing rounds and repulsor brace. Don't think there's a glaive at this moment with that, but I could be wrong. Would be nice, because glaives are also kicking ass. Alright, so next time, I will see y'all on the other side. Laters.